Anderson, David Wesley, Jawan Howard, and there you see Dikembe Mutombo, of course. Not sure if the dress code is being enforced yet, but the Rockets look as though they are dressed for success tonight. It is not the Toyota Center, but this is a home game for the Houston Rockets. The Laredo Entertainment Center in Laredo, Texas, the site for this one. This is the second time in as many years the NBA has made a stop in Laredo. Last season, a record-setting 9,100 watched the Rockets and the Spurs. Of course, tonight it is Houston and Seattle. Hi there, how's it going? Dana Larson alongside Emily Jones this evening. The Rockets hoping to extend their fan base in South Texas with this stop in Laredo. Fans tonight will be in for a treat with two of the NBA's best shooters going at it. At least we hoped so. Tracy McGrady, Ray Allen, we do know they will be there.
And I know they were hoping Tracy McGrady would be in the lineup. We'll soon find that out. He's averaging 19 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists in 22 minutes of work so far this preseason. And ironically enough, those numbers pretty much identical to Ray Allen's here in the early going. Time now to make our first trip down south to Laredo and join our Matt Bullard. Matt, we talked about, I know those fans in Laredo want to see Tracy McGrady, and there was also a question of Yao Ming because the big man had a hurt big toe.
Yeah, Yao's got a big toe. You know, those big toes are big injuries in the preseason. But obviously, if this was a regular season game, Yao would be playing. But I did hear word from the Rockets trainer that big toenail was like 4'2".
When you look at...
Now, Tracy McGrady, now, all the fans here are excited about this game for sure, but Tracy McGrady will not play either. In the last game in San Antonio, he got kneed in the stomach. That injury is fine. He's okay, but he will not play tonight either. Jeff Van Gundy does not want to risk injury to his two big stars.
There are a few others to add to the Houston lineup. Lonnie Baxter and Derek Anderson came to the Houston Rockets by way of free agency. Rafer Alston and Luther Head. Keith Langford also coming in to the lineup. Rafer through a trade from Toronto, and the two young guys, the rookies, one from Illinois and, of course, Keith Langford. Those of you in Big 12 country know well about him from his days with the Jayhawks.
We are counting down to tip-off in Laredo, where over 9,000 fans watched the Rockets and the Spurs play last season. Of course, it is the Rockets and Seattle coming up tonight in just under 20 minutes. Welcome back to the show. After tonight, the Rockets will be halfway through their preseason schedule, game number 4 with 4 to go. They open up the regular season November 2nd against Sacramento. The early part of their regular season schedule is interesting, starting with a 3-game homestand, then followed up by playing 8 of their next 10 games on the road.
And it will definitely be here before we know it. Time now to go back down south to the Texas town of Laredo and join the guys calling tonight's game, Bill Worrell and Matt Bullard. Guys, how are they treating you down there?
Well, they're treating us fine. How's the dynamic duo doing back at the studios?
We're doing great, of course.
Good to have them back again this year. Well, you know, you said 9,000 people were here for San Antonio. Most of those people last year had on Tim Duncan jerseys. They're not here tonight, so we're not going to have quite that many people. And I think when they announce that Yao Ming and Tracy McGrady aren't going to play tonight, I hope there's not a mass exodus.
Yeah, there might be some boos out there. I don't know, but they should enjoy a good basketball game tonight.
Yeah, of course, Yao Ming is not playing because he's had the toenail problems. And, in fact, Yao Ming told me a little while ago that toenail that he took off of his big toe, he's going to put it on eBay.
Oh, no. That's disgusting. Do not bid on that. Do not bid on that. That's gross.
Without Yao and Tracy playing, however, it's more minutes for Stromile Swift and Derek Anderson, and they've looked pretty good in the preseason.
Oh, Stromile Swift has played great in the preseason. The only game he's played because of that bruised forearm, but he is explosive. Now, this guy is going to be a great addition to the Rockets. You'll notice in these highlights, everything that he does is around the basket. Now, that move around Tim Duncan was spectacular.
Yeah, it really was. And, of course, Derek Anderson now will be trying. They want to see him on defense tonight.
Well, he's been shooting the ball very well in preseason, 47%. But like you say, they want to see how he can guard Rashard Lewis tonight. If Derek Anderson can play some good defense for the Rockets, he'll be out there quite a bit.
Because I know that Jeff Van Gundy would like to go small a lot this season, and so if Derek can pick up the slack on those bigger guys like Rashard, it's going to really help out. Luther Head has looked very good, the #1 draft choice for Houston. Head and shoulders above everybody else, huh?
Yeah, he's been great. It's great to see a rookie come in and be aggressive like Luther Head has been. Very good numbers for him, 41% from the three-point line. You see right there, he's got a good stroke, but he also attacks the basket. Great defense. Really looks good for a rookie, Bill. I think Jeff Gunny's going to have to find some place for him to play.
So, Dana and Emily, we've got a few people here ready to go tonight for this preseason game.
Now this guy's got the right idea. He's got the Astros hat on and the Rockets jersey. He's going to watch the Rockets take on the Seattle Supersonics tonight in pregame action. I would imagine at some point he'll pull out his headphones and listen to that Astros Cardinals game there.
Maybe get a quick update on that as well. That is for sure. Welcome back to the Rockets pregame show. We are just minutes away from tip-off. But first now we turn our attention to our feature. It's been a short but, shall we say, winding road for new Houston Rocket Lonnie Baxter. In just 3 years in the NBA, the former Maryland Terp has been with 5 different teams. The 6'8", 260-pound forward has averaged just over 4 points, 3 rebounds, and 121 career games with Chicago, Toronto, Washington, and New Orleans.
But the Rockets did see something they liked during their Summer League team's 5-0 run in Minneapolis. Baxter averaged 21 points and 6 rebounds in those 5 games, prompting Houston to give him a contract, and not just any contract, a guaranteed contract. Here's more on one of the Rockets' newest faces.
Lonnie Baxter, number 35, power forward, University of Maryland, 3 years in the NBA. My senior year in school, I was fortunate enough to win a, NCAA ring. That's just one of the greatest feelings in the world. It's just a great feeling, even today it happened, 3-4 years ago, but, it's just a great feeling. And we accomplished that goal, and I was just so proud of myself and my teammates that we got there. Summer League was a great experience. We had a great group of guys, Deion Glover, who's here in camp, Chuck Hayes. We just really played well. We just put it together, and, we're able to win all 5 games. It was a great experience, one of the best summer leagues I ever had. Definitely one of the best summer league teams I've ever been on. And just getting ready to come in, and know what the coaches want us to do this season. How would my friends describe me? Good-hearted, kind, reliable, honest, quiet. And that's pretty much it. I think I bring a lot of toughness. I'm just a, type of physical player. There's like the bang, rebound. Definitely just work hard and practice. No stranger to hard work. Dirty work. Things that don't show up on the stat sheet. I'm just a guy that comes out, just plays hard. So, just bring a tough physical inside presence. Hopefully everything will work out well for me. Of course, you have a great caliber of guys, Tracy, Yao, and, definitely a team, that's a playoff caliber team, that just, a group of guys that are really excited about winning and, just getting on the court together and just trying to, win a championship. That's what I'm really psyched up about, just really getting out on the court and just competing. And I'm glad to be here with the guys that we have.
We will be getting to know a lot of the Rockets' new faces. There are many of them. When we come back, we're going to hear from Stromile Swift as well. Just over 11 minutes till they tip in Laredo.
Welcome back to Rockets pregame. Houston and Seattle getting set for a little exhibition action in Laredo. The Rockets off to a perfect 3-0 start in the preseason with wins over Philadelphia, Orlando, and San Antonio thus far.
And one of the newest Rockets, Stromile Swift, was a big reason why Houston beat the Spurs on Saturday, doing everything from scoring, grabbing rebounds, and blocking shots. And the 6'9" power forward is standing by now with our Bill Worrell.
Thank you, ladies. There were a lot of smiling faces when this big fella signed on the dotted line as a free agent in the offseason. Stromile Swift, good to have you in Houston.
It's good to be here.
How are you fitting in so far in the preseason?
It's going pretty good. The guys are great. I'm learning. It's a learning experience for me. I'm just trying to take things slow and learn as I go. And the guys are helping me along a lot.
Well, I know about your shot blocking abilities, and the dunk over Yao Ming last year in Memphis was quite a dunk shot. Have you talked to him about that now that he's on your own team?
No, I don't talk to him about it. Actually, it's never came up. I don't really want to talk to him about it.
But I know you can block those shots, as we saw in that San Antonio game with Tim Duncan, blocked a couple of his shots, and that's one of the things you really bring to this team, shot blocking and rebounding defense.
I just try to bring a little more athleticism. since I've been playing, mostly that's been pretty much my game, is blocking shots. If I can't get things going on offense, then I'll try to do that, try to get block shots and try to get myself going, rebound and just things like that. But mostly that's what I like to do, just try to get a block and get the team going.
I know you want to stay away from that injury bug. You had that forearm problem in the early two-a-day workouts. How are you physically right now?
I feel a little better. It still bothers me a little bit, but it's nothing I can't play through.
Like this team so far?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Well, they say on paper you could challenge San Antonio. Do you think you can be that good this season?
I think we had a talent to be a great team. We just got to go out and just play like that.
Thanks for being with us, and good luck on this season.
Thank you.
Let's go back to the studio.
All right, Bill, thank you very much. Yeah, Rockets fans really excited to have this guy. If he's anything like what he did on Saturday, would be amazing. He combined with Tracy McGrady. The two of them scored the team's 30 of the first 39 points for the Rockets, and then Swift also added 4 rebounds and 3 blocked shots. He was like the Energizer Bunny out there.
And clearly he's a smart guy. You don't want to get onto a new team and say, hey, man, remember when I dunked over you? Yeah, probably not a very good idea.
Exactly, very smart guy. All right, tip-off is just around the corner.
The Rockets taking on the Supersonics in game number 4 of their 8-game preseason schedule.
Live from the Laredo Entertainment Center, Fox Sports Net presents Houston Rockets preseason basketball. The Rockets taking on the Seattle Sonics. Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Worrell. Good to have you with us. Now, the Rockets are playing a preseason game against the Sonics here tonight. And at the very same time, the Houston Astros are back home in Houston trying to get to the World Series for the first time in franchise history. So if you're watching me right now, you are the greatest Rockets fan we have ever had, and I want you to look at this number. If you call this number, I'm going to give you free tickets to opening night on November the 2nd for being such a good fan and watching us tonight when the Astros are one step away from the World Series.
How many tickets do you have, Bill?
I have 3 tickets.
Okay.
And you can have all 3 of them. And tonight we're playing a preseason game without Yao Ming and Tracy McGrady. They will not play tonight. I think some of this crowd here will be disappointed in that.
Yeah, the Laredo crowd last year was great. They're really looking forward to a great game tonight, but when they see that Tracy and Yao aren't playing, I think they are going to be very disappointed.
We're going to have one matchup now without Tracy playing. Rashard Lewis will be matched up with Derek Anderson, and this is the one matchup that Jeff Van Gundy wants to keep an eye on.
Yeah, this is going to be important for Derek Anderson. Now, he's been playing very well in the preseason, shooting the basketball very well, but can he guard Rashard Lewis? That is the key question. You see, Rashard Lewis is a great player. He's a tough matchup for anyone in the league. But if Derek Anderson can play decent defense, that's going to gain him some more minutes in tonight's game.
And, of course, Derek Anderson, as you said, has been shooting it well.
Yes, he has. He was brought in for punch off the bench. He can really shoot the ball well. 47% in the preseason. That's getting it done.
Now, on the other hand, Ray Allen will play tonight, and he is the superstar. Seattle put a lot of money and effort into re-signing him as a free agent in this offseason.
Yeah, that was a big acquisition for the Sonics. Ray Allen had 28 points last game. You see those stats from last season. He's an all-star. He's the real deal. Tonight, we're going to see how many points he can put up against this Rockets defense.
Time now for the Toyota Power Team. Keys to the game.
All right, well, the first key is cut down on the turnovers. The Rockets are averaging 19 a game. That's too many if they want to be a fast-breaking team. Number 2 is improve the rebounding. The Rockets are 23rd in the league in rebounding here in the preseason. They need to be a much better rebounding team. And number 3, stay pain-free. You know that. You know about that, Bill.
Yeah.
When we go to the dessert tray, we got to stay pain-free.
Don't get hurt. So, you fans, you have our permission to watch the Astros try to get to the World Series, but do us a favor. When they're between innings, you can clip it over here and watch us watch the Rockets basketball, and we'll be pulling for the Astros, too. We'll be back in just a moment. Hi again, everybody, and welcome back to Laredo, Texas. Seattle going against Houston tonight, the 4th preseason game for the Houston Rockets. And let's get the starting lineups, as always, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. And we will start with the Seattle Sonics. Richard Lewis, Reggie Evans, Robert Swift, the youngster in his second year, right out of high school basketball last year, #1 draft choice. Ray Allen, the big free agent signing for Seattle, and Luke Ridnour, who had such a great season last year. For the Houston Rockets, Jeff Van Gundy will trot out the starting lineup of Juwan Howard, Derek Anderson, Dikembe Mutombo at center, David Wesley, and Rafer Alston, the veteran point guard, running the show for Houston tonight. We'll be back with a tip-off in just a moment. Welcome back to the Laredo Entertainment Center. We're just about ready for the preseason encounter between Seattle and Houston. And Bobby Weiss, the head coach of the Seattle Sonics, it was only natural that he would step into that job. He was the #1 assistant for Nate McMillan, and McMillan shocked everybody in Seattle when he signed with the Portland Trailblazers as a free agent coach. So Bobby just stepped right in, but he certainly has the experience, over 40 years as a player and a coach in the NBA. He was on some great backcourt teams with Chicago Bulls, with Norm Van Leer and Jerry Sloan. Bobby's been a great player and a great coach in this league. Jeff Van Gundy, of course, perfect 3-0 in the preseason. He says that doesn't mean a thing. He's been playing a lot of options. Tonight, Jeff will be going without Yao Ming and Tracy McGrady, but because he wants to see how the team reacts. Yao Ming and Tracy sitting side by side, and of course you want them side by side with uniforms on once the season starts, Matt.
Yeah, that's a good point, and we'll see if the Rockets can get their offense going with those two big scorers on the bench.
And we have a whistle. The officials tonight, one of the only Texans in the officiating crew, Jason Phillips. He's out there with Mark Wunderlich and Matt Boland. Phillips, Boland, and Wunderlich, the officials for tonight's game.
David Wesley off to a cold start this preseason.
Yeah, what's he, about 2 for 15?
He's 2 for the preseason, Bill.
Well, I think he's hit a shot in 2 games.
This guy here, he can put it in the hole, though.
Ray Allen, one of the best pure shooters in all of basketball. Mutombo is one of the leaders in the preseason in the NBA. He's averaging close to 9 rebounds a game in his 2 preseason games. So he's getting on those boards again, the 39-year-old Mutombo. Wesley with an air ball.
Ball was tipped.
Well, I think what David's saying is he was fouled, and Jason Phillips is going to say, we're going to say the ball was deflected.
Well, let's see here. It looked like, yeah, ball was definitely tipped. Didn't see the foul, so will remain Rockets basketball. Bill, can you see?
I can't see a thing.
What's the problem?
I don't know. I think Yao's sitting in front of me.
Tell him to move.
I just looked over to my left, and I was wondering where the stats were.
They're right in your line of vision.
They're right here.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. Derek Anderson just hit a nice jump shot.
Yes, he did. There's the rebound. Juwan Howard also having a good rebounding campaign here to start the preseason. The court is really slick tonight. They brought this court in from the Alamo Dome. And
how do you know that?
It's I don't.
Oh, it says Alamo Dome right there on the court.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I was reading. And it was really slick. The players were complaining about it a little while ago. Mutombo tries to take it up, and he's fouled on the play.
Well, we were just in San Antonio, but we're at the SBC Center, so this floor from the Alamo Dome hasn't seen much action. And this is a nice wraparound pass from Derek Anderson. Nice catch that time from Mutombo.
Mutombo's really having a good preseason,
he's getting a lot more minutes than I'm sure he expected to with Yao's big toe ailment.
The Rockets, needless to say, were very happy with Mutombo last season. He was able to help Yao Ming a lot, school him, be his mentor, if you will, and also played some valuable minutes. And at the age of 39 years old, he won't be 40 until June, he has signed a new two-year contract, and he says he wants to finish his career right here in Houston.
Well, he definitely proved his worth last year, and when you've got a great center like Yao Ming, to have a very, very good backup like Dikembe Mutombo is invaluable.
Rashard Lewis, of course, from Houston, and his family will be watching tonight. So we'll have some viewers there in the Lewis family. Petro puts it up. He's the #1 draft choice from France. We'll talk about him more in a moment. Howard at the post, picked up by Reggie Evans. Nice bounce pass inside for 2. The Rockets are very unselfish, aren't they?
They're unselfish. The ball movement in their offense is very, very good, and that really leads to a lot of easy baskets.
Rafer Alston likes to push it up the court. That's what they want him to do. Rafer uses that big pick by Mutombo. Inside, Juwan Howard. Shot it too hard. 10 seconds still on the shot clock. Eric Anderson short. Almost a steal. Ridnour will get it down low into the post. Reggie Evans will go to work. Big physical guy, and that'll be a defensive violation called on Houston.
Mutombo's in the lane for 3 seconds. Jeff Van Gundy not happy with that. Mutombo knows that he can't do that. He can't just be sitting there camped out in the lane, and especially when Reggie Evans has the ball on the post. Reggie Evans is a great rebounder, defender, shot blocker, but does not have post skills.
Richard will bring it in. Rockets lead it 6-1 here in the early going.
That was the Astros score?
I wish.
Oh, Rockets. Yeah.
I'll take 6-1 Houston.
Oh, yeah.
Ridnour in traffic, got it off in time, just barely grazed the iron, and Reggie Evans with a miss.
Mutombo says, no, not in here.
That's an international language, isn't it? Rafer Alston with a miss, Mutombo with another rebound. Jeff Van Gundy's been pretty vocal about the fact that he doesn't think the Rockets are rebounding as well as they should, and Wesley throws it away, and Anderson, all he could do was foul Lewis, or it was Dunk City.
Rashard Lewis, in his 8th season out of Houston. He's only 26 years old, Bill.
And in his 8th season, right?
Yeah, I think that's what we said.
Yep.
Impressive. This young man from Houston has really turned into All-Star last season, really turned into a great basketball player.
There it is. He was really excited out of A-Leaf Elsick High School. He was really excited about making that All-Star team. And well-deserved. In fact, that big 3 of Lewis and Allen, Ridnour, Radmanovich, they've got some shooters on this Seattle team, and they can score a ton of points. No-look pass by Juwan, and I think that ball was blocked by Petro, wasn't it?
It was.
Ridnour from Nuevo Laredo.
I don't think he should be crossing the border right about now, Bill.
There's a good chance he might not come back.
Exactly.
Yeah. But he was far enough out then.
Let's watch this. Mutombo tries to go up and gets the ball blocked from behind from Petro. That doesn't happen too often to Mutombo, but that's the thing that Seattle was last year and looks like they're going to be again this year, is a bunch of great shooters with a couple big, strong defenders inside.
Mutombo posting up Johan Petro. Petro's only 19 years old. He played in France in the A-League last year. 24 new ticks for Houston on the offensive rebound. And Mutombo with a hook shot won't go. And look at Howard fight and get that rebound. And that Rockets bench is up at the other end, congratulating him. There's the three-pointer in and out, won't go.
We talked about the Rockets wanting to improve on the rebounding. 10-4 right now, 10-5 over Seattle in the rebounding area.
And that's been Howard with 5 and 3 for Mutombo. And Rashard Lewis hits from the outside. You know, he can operate inside, and he's got a deft touch on the outside, too. He's really hard to stop.
Yeah, he's a mismatch. No matter who's playing against him, he can go inside or outside. And this Seattle team last year was second in the league with three-pointers made behind Phoenix. And they look like they're picking up right where they left off.
Wesley looks at the shot clock. It's down to 2 seconds, down to 1. Wesley, maybe that's what he needs, somebody to guard him.
Make it a little tougher on yourself, David.
Yeah.
He's been missing the open ones. He gets a tough one. He knocks it down.
One of the most accurate shooters over his great NBA career in the league. And he's coming off knee surgery. Matt, you know yourself, if you've got a bad wheel, sometimes it's hard to get back, isn't it?
Yeah, I've had 5 knee surgeries, and I know that David is, he says he's 100% from that knee surgery, but you're never 100% coming off a knee surgery. And as a shooter, especially at David's size, he really needs a lot of lift on his jump shot, and his legs still aren't underneath him in this preseason.
On the outside, Ray Allen. Wesley trying to stay with him, and Allen, look how he hangs in the air. Poetry in motion, Ray Allen. I love to watch this guy play basketball because he's got a magical quality about him.
And he's just so smooth, so composed, and just finds a way to get that ball in the basket.
Wesley outside, and Austin misses on the long bomb. Reggie Evans, one of the better rebounders in the NBA, averaged about 8 a game last year for Seattle. Allen takes it down low. Evans wasn't ready for it. One thing coming into this game, Jeff said he wanted his club to do, rebound better and cut down on the turnovers. The Rockets have been average. Oh, David Wesley banked it in. Did he call that?
I think he was yelling for a foul. He may have gotten his elbow hit on that one. That's why the ball banked in, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Boy, I'll say. Game tied at 10. And a foul is called on Houston. We have a break in the action. 5:02 left to play in the first quarter. This game tied. Game tied at 10 in the first quarter. Let's take a look at tonight's McDonald's League leaders. This will be the preseason scoring averages preseason. Allen Iverson, Carmelo Anthony, Ray Allen at just under 20 points a game. Yao Ming at 19 a game. Tracy McGrady's just under 19 a game. But you got to keep in mind, those numbers are pretty good considering that Yao Ming's averaged only about 20 minutes a game, and Tracy McGrady a little less than that.
Yeah, those guys... their minutes have been limited in the preseason, and that's a good thing, I think. You want those guys to be fresh in March, April, May, and June, not in October.
Yeah. Of course, Yao Ming just cracked me up earlier tonight. I was kidding him about his big toe. He's got it wrapped. He lost his big toenail a couple of days ago, and he says, I think I'm going to put that toenail on eBay.
Well, it's big enough he could sign it and, the whole deal.
Yeah, why not? Crazy things they're putting on eBay right now. We've got a whistle.
Wasn't Steve Francis' tooth put on eBay one time? Was that?
No, it wasn't. It was somebody's tooth.
Yeah, somebody's tooth. I can't remember if it was Steve Francis or someone else. But
what about the gum? There was some gum.
Baseball players, Luis Gonzalez's gum.
Yeah, that brought a hefty amount of money from some crazy.
I think Yao could probably make a lot of money. Of course, he doesn't need it, but
they could use that toenail as a scooper. It's big enough.
You might want to disinfect it first, maybe.
Probably. All right, John Barry will come in now. I think that's enough about the toenail stuff. As JB will check into the game for Anderson. Anderson goes out with a couple of points. And Lewis will have a free throw. And he gets it. 6 points for Richard to lead the way for Seattle.
The 2-2-1 full-court press from Seattle.
Luther Head has checked into the game. Nice pass inside to Wesley. Wesley with a hook pass to Howard. And, Juwan has such a nice touch around the basket. Oh, Ridnour with a beautiful pass to Lewis. Woo.
That was a great pass from Ridnour. He's really going to have a chance to step up for the Seattle Supersonics this year. Going to be able to play a lot of minutes, and with passes like that, he'll really get it done.
Well, you're right, Matt. He's in his 3rd season. That's usually when they really have a coming-out party, although I thought he played about as well as he could play last year. There's Lewis. I remember in a game against Houston last season, Ridnour had 12 assists. He really knows how to run the show, and there it is again.
There's another one.
He knows where to find Lewis.
Well, that's simple basketball, Bill. If you're Luke Ridnour and you know you've got Ray Allen and Rashard Lewis on the court, just look for those two guys and give them the ball.
Rockets are 3-0, and I don't think Jeff really going to worry too much about wins and losses in the preseason. Seattle, I think, feels a little more need to win a game. They're 0-2 right now. And there's the basket.
They lost in Phoenix 114 to 113. That had to be a barn burner of a preseason game, but I don't think coaches are too worried about their win-loss records in the preseason.
Ray Allen puts it up and in. He had 45 points in a playoff game last year and made it look effortless. So Jeff Van Gundy, as you can tell by that look on his face, he's not real happy. That's a 22nd timeout called by Jeff. And he'll use that more in the regular season to set up a play, but in the preseason he's using it to coach.
Yeah, he's teaching his players something. Not happy with the defense. Too many easy buckets for the Seattle Supersonics. Too many guys cutting to the basket, not being guarded. And then also, the other part of that is not having enough pressure on the ball handler. Luke Ridnour able to just pick his passes.
I think we can hear him. I think we'll be able.
Maybe we don't want to hear him.
Well, we may not.
It's a family broadcast, isn't it?
I don't. Yeah, it is cable.
Okay. Well, I guess if you were watching the baseball game
I think
last
most
night,
of the family's probably watching the baseball game.
Well, if you were watching Tony La Russa last night, if you could read lips, you know.
Now, I know Jonathan Fagan's boys are watching basketball.
Yes, David Fagan. Thank you for watching us tonight.
Yes, David, and if you called in, you can have my ticket. We have a full timeout. We'll take it with them. Seattle with the lead 18-14 here in the first quarter. If you're just joining us, playing in Laredo, the fourth preseason game for the Rockets, playing without Yao Ming and Tracy McGrady. They're okay. Yao still a little hobbled by a sore big toe, and Tracy just getting a rest tonight, so they will not play. They're over there on the bench, much to the chagrin of this crowd in Laredo, who probably bought some tickets just to see those two play. Yao really looks excited about this whole thing. Well, yeah, Yao is yawning and Tracy's blowing a bubble. Of course, Tracy's wondering what the baseball score is. Yeah, he was checking over here a moment ago. The Rockets are the home team, Matt. We flew up here. Well, the officials have said that the logo in the middle of the floor is torn, and so they're going to take time out and fix that. The Southwest Airlines logo in the middle of the floor is kind of ripped. See, they're trying to fix that a little bit. Boy, look at Tony. Yeah. Tony Nyla out there, long time. He sure moves a lot faster than his dad, doesn't he? Well, so much for Southwest Airlines logo right there. Southwest, everybody knows that you're the best. Free to fly about the country, but we're taking your logo off the floor. This is the problem when you come to non-NBA arenas. Yeah. We've got this floor from the Alamo Dome that has not been used very much lately and is a little bit slippery, and then you put a little logo over the center circle and it doesn't work out. Matt, I remember one game we played, and it's really more noticeable in a non-NBA city because they're not equipped for it, but I remember one year about 15 years ago we went in to play the Washington Bullets in Virginia, and the court was over the ice. Yeah. And it was so slick, we couldn't play. Everybody was falling down in the pregame, so they never played the game at all. In fact, we tried to play it, but we couldn't play it. Well, I remember the worst NBA floor we ever played on was in the old Boston Garden. That floor was terrible. You dribble the basketball, it wouldn't bounce up, and it was freezing cold because the ice was on underneath it, and there was no insulation. And you play the whole game without breaking a sweat. The only thing I remember about the Boston Garden, we used to go in there after the circus. Oh yeah. Yeah. All right, well, let's look at this last Seattle Supersonics play. Now you see the Rockets defense is all bunched up right there. And as Luke Ridnour comes off the pick and roll, stop it right there. Now we've got 1, 2 defenders trying to guard the ball. Now go ahead and run it. That opens up Ray Allen to drive down the middle of the lane and just shoot a floater. No help defense when Ray Allen got in the middle of that lane. Vladimir Radmanovic has checked in now for Seattle in his 5th season out of Serbia, Montenegro. What a terrific shooter he is. And Stromile Swift has come into the game, and he makes a move to the basket and is knocked out of bounds by Seattle. This ought to be quite a battle here. Swift they'll try to guard him with Radmanovic. Not a very good defensive player. You got Radmanovic and Collison trying to guard Howard and Swift is way more athletic than any of those guys. And Flip Murray in the game also. Luther Head gives it up to Juwan Howard. Radmanovich now on Juwan. Trying to back it in on him. He does with the jump hook. In and out won't go. And Flip Murray with a rebound. Well, this Murray is quick. And going to the basket is Radmanovich. Boy, what a great start to the season Radmanovich had last year, and then he was injured, and they really missed him towards the end of the season.
If he'd have been healthy in the playoffs, they may have gone a little deeper. They really had a magical run in the playoffs last year, and with new coach Bob Weiss, they're hoping for the same type of magic. I was talking to the TV and radio guys, Craig Elo, my old buddy.
Yeah.
And they're really happy Bob Weiss got the job, and they feel like he's going to be a real calming influence on this team.
You know, Bobby coached 3 years in Atlanta and actually got him into the playoffs twice when he was the head coach of the Atlanta Hawks, and that hasn't been done in a long time.
Yeah, any coach that can get the Hawks in the playoffs is doing something right.
Miles Swift shot it too hard inside.
A lot of body contact, no whistle.
Rick Brunson is checked into the game now. You got to love that left-hander. He goes to teams with Green. Radmanovich puts up the three. He's got a silky smooth shooting touch and a loose ball foul on Collison.
Actually on Damian Wilkins.
Is it? Okay, on Damian Wilkins.
Son of Gerald Wilkins. One of my co-contestants on Dream Job last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And nephew of
Dominique. Pretty good bloodlines for the young Wilkins boy. He actually played a little bit last year, got his feet wet, and we'll see probably quite a bit more time this year for the Seattle Supersonics.
Yeah, when Radmanovich had that stress fracture, he missed the final 19 games of the season, and Wilkins stepped up and played very well. Juwan Howard shows you his range, and that's why he was so valuable to the team last year, and when he was injured, the Rockets really missed him.
Yeah.
Howard with 6 points.
That would have been a 3 if he was playing at Michigan.
Murray, the bad five. Collison actually, in his second year last year, was his first year, so he was eligible for some rookie awards. Had both shoulders operated on after he was drafted out of Kansas. 1:20 left to play in the quarter. Wilkins right on top of Barry now. Barry gives it up to Juwan. Wesley will shoot it from the deep corner for a 3 and missed it. Brunson with the rebound. Flip Murray with a little turnaround.
Oh, good heavens.
Terrible shot.
Everyone on both benches knew that he was shooting it, but probably they thought he'd get a better shot than that.
Brunson right up on Luther Head. Luther sets up Wesley. And David misses again.
Too open, Bill. Too open. Got to have a guy draped all over him to make that shot.
That's really a good job by Luther Head, though. Both times he hit Wesley, he hit him where he got wide open looks. Got a 10-second difference, shot clock, game clock. Rockets will get another possession if they get the rebound here, and a little veteran move by
a young player on a veteran.
Yeah. So Wilkins will be at the line.
I think his dad taught him that one
probably
in the driveway when he was growing up.
You know, Gerald had a nice career in the NBA.
He really did.
Some good years with the Knicks. Damian out of Georgia. And he played a little bit around the league and started 7 games for Seattle last year. Miles Swift got the rebound. Luther Head now with 7 seconds left to play in the quarter. John Barry will set up the play for Houston. Down to 3 seconds. Down to 2. Down to 1. Barry puts one up. Off the back of the iron. And that's the end of the first quarter play from Laredo. It's the Sonics 20 and the Rockets 16. You're watching Rockets basketball on FSN Houston. Welcome back to Laredo, and Rockets fans, you want great seats for the best games? Purchase one of our many multi-game plans. We have weekend packages, weekday packs, and several other options built to suit you. Just call 713-627-DUNK or log on to Rockets.com and we'll set you up with a ticket package that works for you. It's going to be an exciting season at Toyota Center. You need to be here to live it every day, every game. I like those different ticket packages, Matt, because not everybody can go to all the games anyway. It gives you a chance. Oh, Strohmeyer Swift just rejects it. And Mutombo with a rebound. Swift now has 4 block shots.
In about 25 minutes.
Yeah, 25 minutes. 2 of them came on Tim Duncan.
Oh, Strohmeyer had a mismatch down low, but Luther couldn't get him the ball.
Nice pass by Luther Head. Mutombo lays it up and in, and he's fouled on the play. That Luther Head makes things happen.
Watch this Strohmeyer's block. That's impressive.
Somebody better tell Flip Murray who he is.
Well, Flip Murray doesn't care. He's going to shoot it every time he touches it.
But maybe not that close in.
Yeah, well, if he's going to shoot it around Strohmeyer, he's going to get it swatted back at him.
Who blocked your first shot?
I don't know. That's a good question. That's one that I don't know, but I know Akeem blocked it many times in practice.
Head almost got the steal. Luther Head has been averaging about 2 steals a game, and he did in the Summer League team. Mutombo with another rebound. Mutombo now with 5 boards. Juwan Howard has 6. Ryan Bowen in the game. And 3 seconds called on Strohmeyer Swift.
That's not a call you're going to see very often, Bill.
They try to clean it up some in the preseason, don't they, in terms of traveling and hand checking. You see a lot of lane violations, too.
Yeah. Well, the officials, preseason for the officials, too, they got to try to get all the calls in. And then in the regular season, they just call it normal.
Brunson puts it up and in. Very serviceable pro, Rick Brunson. He's been around a while. His 9th NBA campaign. Luther Head goes to the basket. I tell you, you better try to play some serious defense on that young man.
Well, he's definitely playing his way into the rotation, that's for sure. He's doing everything, Bill. He's scoring points, he's passing the ball, playing some defense, doing everything you can ask for from a rookie.
Are you surprised at how fast? You know, he plays with so much confidence. A lot of rookies don't have the confidence Luther Head has.
Well, let's watch here, little hesitation move, and no one picks him up. Just goes to the other side of the basket and flips it in. He's playing with great confidence, Bill. I'll tell you what, that's something you don't see from a rookie in the preseason. Remember his first game at Philly, he looked very nervous, and he actually admitted that to us after the game, but nerves doesn't seem to bother him.
Well, he's been on the big stage, though, before. You know, when you come from Illinois and you play all of those playoff games, Matt, it shouldn't intimidate you very much.
Well, there are some, there are guys who take that nervousness and play better. And Luther Head seems to be one of those guys that really steps up his game when the pressure's on.
Look at your old Iowa buddy, Ryan Bowen. Get on his knees, get the ball back.
He's everywhere, Bill.
John Berry. And the rebound goes to Collison. Brunson shoots it up, misses, ball is loose. JB's got it. John Berry gets it up the floor in a hurry. He's fouled on the pass off.
This Rockets team is really going to try to push the basketball this year. Van Gundy really wants to get some easy baskets before the defense can set up, and Luther Head is a guy that can really push the ball. Rafer Alston, who is a guy that the Rockets traded for, pushes the basketball, and then, of course, we have John Berry on this last play. He might be too old to push the ball, but he still tries.
You know, Matt, last year Jeff wanted him to get the ball up in a hurry, but I don't think they had the personnel. Now they do. And there's the miss by Mutombo, and Radmanovich knocks it out of bounds. So the Rockets get a break. They'll get the ball back and a fresh 24.
Well, what goes along with being a fast-breaking team is you have to take care of the basketball, and that's what Van Gundy's working on right now.
Timeout taken by Houston. 9:07 left to play in the second quarter, and the Sonics are up by 3 on FSN Houston. Seattle leads by 3 here in Laredo. One of the question marks on Luther Head when he was selected in the first round by Houston. How good are his ball handling skills, and can he lead a team?
Well, he's definitely shown us so far in the preseason that on this play, gets a little double team in the backcourt and was able to break the double team with some good ball handling, and then he's got a big guy on him, and he sees that he can make it all the way to the basket. If no one's going to pick him up, he's going to lay it in.
John Barry gets it into Stromile Swift, and taking it away is Brunson, and Swift with the foul. He never saw him coming. Brunson was hiding in the weeds, came around his blind side.
And that's where the double team comes from that always frustrates Yao, too. When the double team comes from the weak side on the baseline, it's very hard to see as a post-up player, and that time Stromile didn't see the double team. That's also where teams like to double team Yao from.
Is there any way teammates can help him by letting him know where it's coming from?
Yep, you got to communicate, you got to talk.
Well, Collison's got to make that shot. John Barry handling the ball. Swift trying to set a pick, and that's going to be a moving. You see Stromile stick his hip out.
Yep.
And that's an offensive foul.
Well, coaches always say that as a ball handler, you've got to wait until your big man gets set before you come off the pick and roll, and that's Stromile's third foul, and John Barry went a little bit early on that pick and roll.
Rick Brunson. Murray keeps it moving. Radmanovich, you better get out on him. He is a terrific three-point shooter. Reminds you a little bit of Stojakovic.
Yep.
He's got the size and the range.
He can shoot it from deep. He can also handle the ball a little bit. He's got a little bit of a mid-range game, but he's always above 40% from the three-point line, so you've got to get out on him and make him drive the ball.
Serbia, Montenegro, Croatia, all of those players can shoot lights out. So can John Barry. 27-23, Seattle with the lead.
He's going to shoot it, Bill.
Got it in his eye, doesn't he? Murray. He was looking for Stromile Swift and Dikembe Mutombo.
Bill, you were open.
I almost had it. Ryan Bowen, yes. He said he really worked on his shot in the offseason because so many teams were leaving him open.
Well, he was able to hit that shot quite a few times in the playoffs against Dallas. Dallas really left him open, but Ryan did work on that shot this summer, and if he can knock down that 15-foot jump shot, he'll get a lot more playing time.
He's one of Jeff Van Gundy's favorites, one of mine too. You always like to watch a guy give 180%. That's what he gives.
Well, that's a lot.
That's a lot. You're right. Stromile knocks it out.
Well, Ryan Bowen is a very smart player. He does the right things on the court. He's never going to hurt you when he's out there, but like you say, he plays hard every possession, and that's contagious. When he's out on the court diving on the floor, his teammates really feel that energy, and they can really pick up their games as well.
He was one of the first signings in the offseason by Jeff Van Gundy, and Van Gundy said, as long as I'm the coach, he's going to have a job. Ryan said, be sure and remind him he said that later. Rittenauer misses, and Bowen with the rebound.
Ryan might want to get that in writing.
Yeah, I know it. If you played in the league a while, you've heard that before.
Well, I know Scotty Brooks heard that one time.
Checks in the mail, right? That's what
Scotty Brooks heard that one time, and 2 weeks later he was traded.
And now he's a fine coach.
Yep, Denver Nuggets.
And another defensive violation on Houston. That's the second one called tonight.
There's a fine coach. Speaking of another fine coach who we haven't seen in a while, Bob Hill is an assistant with Seattle.
Yeah, it's good to see Bobby back in the coaching ranks. He was a head coach at San Antonio until Popovich took over there. Then Bob coached at Fordham for a couple of years. Up in New York, came back, moved to San Antonio, and Bob Weiss has put him to work. Bob Hill knows a lot of basketball. Yep. It's good to see him back in the league.
He's a great coach, and he's also got the second best hair in the NBA. Behind you, of course.
Oh, well, thank you so much. But not as a coach. As a coach, who has the best hair in the league? Rashard Lewis puts it up and in. It's not Bobby White.
That's a good point. And not Jack Sikma either.
No. Jack Sikma, one of the greats of all time in the Seattle franchise history, sitting on that bench also with Bobby. He's got a lot of experience over there. Mutombo with a big step to the basket and a blocking foul on Collison.
It's a pretty big collision there. Collison's a pretty big boy, and Mutombo's even bigger. Let's watch this and see if you can see what the Richter scale says on this one. Oh, that's about what do you think, about a 6.2?
Yeah. DeKimby's really funny. I was talking to him. He said after a year playing with Jeff Van Gundy, he really got excited about basketball. He enjoyed playing with his team. He wanted to come back, and when they signed him to a 2-year deal, he said, I knew I had to get in shape before this camp this year, and he thinks he's in the best condition he's ever been in. At 39 years of age, he can still play this game.
Well, that's impressive, too. I mean, I think it's easier for a big man to play longer, like Mutombo is doing. A guy like John Stockton, where he played till he was 41 at a guard position, that's just incredible. But Mutombo, he's still very mobile, and of course, still a great shot blocker and rebounder, which is all the Rockets are really going to ask him to do.
Exactly, on a limited capacity. And he knows he's spelling Yao Ming, but a lot of times when Yao got in foul trouble last year, Mutombo had to play more minutes than he intended to, but he played very well. Ridnour rushes one up. Swift keeps the ball alive. JB gets it out to Alston. Raper. Ridnour knocks it out of bounds. And we have a timeout on the court with 5:53 left to play in the second period, and the Sonics still up by 3. Seattle up by 3 here in the second quarter. Hey, if you're looking for something exciting to do during your lunch break, talk to Matt Bullard. Come watch the Rockets practice at Toyota Center on Thursday, October 20th. Doors will open at 11:30 in the morning, in addition to the team scrimmage. Yeah, I knew you'd like that. Events include an autograph session, a player Q&A, and a chalk talk. And get this, admission and lunch are free.
Free!
Rockets basketball. Live it every day, every game.
It's free, it's me, Bill.
And give me 3. Reggie Evans gives it up to Ridnour. There's Barry coming out of nowhere. His teammates didn't help Ridnour out. Turnover, Seattle. Ryan Bowen. And Rafer Alston will set the play in motion. Barry from the corner. He's fouled on the shot. Is that 3?
Yep. John Barry says, and give me 3.
3.
Yeah. 3 free. Yeah, nicely done. Rafer Alston, good penetration on that play. Drew the defender and just kicked it out to John Barry for the quick jump shot.
Well, John Barry, what a great addition. He and David Wesley last year, and he had 7 points, 6 rebounds at San Antonio a couple of nights ago. He was traded to the Rockets back December of last year in exchange for Tyronn Lue. 13 NBA seasons for John. Milwaukee, Golden State, Atlanta, the Lakers, Sacramento, Detroit, Denver, and Houston. He knows every coach in the league. And, of course, his daddy was Rick Barry, one of the best free throw shooters of all time. NBA Hall of Famer, used to shoot him underhand. That Barry family's pretty good pedigree, too, isn't it?
Some pretty good basketball players.
Brent, Scooter, John. John gets it down court to Bowen at the other end. Air Bowen.
Oh, very nice. Look at the bench going nuts.
And the Rockets go up by 2.
Oh, you know those Iowa boys, they can fly, Bill.
It's all that practice in the cornfield. Ray Allen takes it inside. Don't get hurt. That's key number 3.
Key number 3. Let's watch Flying Ryan Bowen.
Speaking about Southwest Airlines.
Flying Ryan. Very nice. Looks good.
Well, we'll tell him we played it twice. Now watch the bench. Now that's the same reaction you got when you dunked.
It's just so rare, Bill.
I love it. You know, this team, everybody talks about chemistry. I don't know what that really means in basketball, except that you're a close-knit group. But this is a very close-knit group, and they really like each other.
Yep. Jeff Van Gundy said there's no recipe for There's no recipe for chemistry, but you know it when you have it. And they had it last year.
Yeah, great job by Carol Dawson to remake this team on the run. And then Jeff Van Gundy did a great job of coaching it. Nice pass. Bowen again. Ryan Bowen. He's become a dunking machine.
Flying Ryan Bowen.
He's not even going to settle for the jump shot anymore. 2-point lead by Houston. Rashard Lewis with a 3 and misses, and Rafer Alston with the rebound, and he can get it up as quick as anybody. Rafer Alston from the outside, and let's see if Mr. Swift can go to work.
Oh, my goodness. The fans in Laredo are getting treated to a show. Let's watch Flying Ryan. Nice touch pass from Stromile. Flushes it. Now watch the bench. Oh, Moochie's loving it. Oh, yeah.
Moochie said, I'd even buy a ticket to see that.
You know what Ryan's thinking right there? Oh, it's preseason. If I could only had those in the regular season, they'd count.
Well, you know, you don't know where the satellite feed is going. Maybe the Globetrotters will be interested.
Maybe the Generals.
Good point. Good point. Stromile will have one more. Juwan Howard comes into the game. Good minutes for Mutombo. He's played 18 minutes. He has 7 points and 7 rebounds. And coming into this game, Dikembe was one of the leaders in the NBA in rebounding per minutes played.
A lot of that has to do with his elbows, Bill. You're in there trying to get a rebound. Mutombo, if you're on the other team or even his own team, he's going to elbow you. Yeah, stay out of the way.
Yeah, Stromile Swift learned that lesson in San Antonio the other night. Ray Allen. What a quick shot. You know, not only is he so pure to watch, but what a beautiful shot.
His form is perfect. It's quick. It's fluid.
Well, Juwan Howard turned right into the double team. Ridnour behind the back to Reggie Evans, and it's blocked out of bounds by Flying Ryan.
Flying Ryan rejecting fellow Iowan Reggie Evans.
We've got a timeout on the court. Ryan Bowen doing it at both ends. Rockets up 36-35. If you think you're a shooter, the Rockets and Toyota are on a search to crown the Clutch City Shootout Champion. Win a portion of $25,000 for your school's athletic department. Come out on October 22nd and 29th to Marion Community Center to qualify. Visit Rockets.com for more details and a registration form. Live it every day, every game. I know you do, Matt.
I live it, Bill.
Ray Allen. You know, when you get inside now with Stromile Swift and Dikembe Mutombo, you've got to think twice before you put a layup at the basket.
Yeah, you better look to pass.
Yeah. That's something the Rockets had for so many years with Akeem Olajuwon. You could overplay your man. And Juwan Howard hits again. He's starting to zero in. Boy, he's made a nice living with that medium-range jump shot over the years. Collison taking it inside. And see what Swift did just by faking that he might go to block it. Collison pulled up short. 2:10 left to play. Howard has it blocked by Evans. Out of bounds, Houston's ball. And Howard thought he was fouled.
Oh, that ball was tipped.
That ball was tipped.
That ball was blocked. Reggie Evans blocked that.
For sure he did.
Right in front of the official, and they gave it to Seattle. That's a shooter. You're going to tell the ref, look, I'm not going to shoot it that bad. I'm not going to shoot it behind the basket.
Yeah, that's hard to do, isn't it, to shoot it behind the basket? And loose ball foul on Reggie Evans. Here he is again now.
Juwan Howard, that ball is definitely
there. Oh, he's got his hand all over the ball. And the young official, Matt Boland, said that Juwan shot it back behind the basket. That's the 15th foul on the Sonics, so the Rockets are in the bonus. The Rockets have 3 team fouls, so Stromile Swift will shoot. One of the really pure athletic talents. I interviewed the young man before the game. We're going to have to work on his interview skills. He's so quiet. You know, it's like you're in the library. We've got to get him to emote more.
He is very, very nice young man. Very, very quiet on the plains. You don't even know he's there.
Yeah.
And but he is loud on the court, Bill. His dunks and his block shots will really bring a lot of excitement to the Toyota Center this year.
He was at LSU a couple of years, played 1 season there before coming out. He was the number 2 player taken in the first round by Vancouver, later moved to Memphis. And a foul on Ryan Bowen. He just never has reached the level that his ability dictates that he should get to. And that's, I think, why Jerry West didn't re-sign him at Memphis. And, you know, Tracy McGrady was telling us that he thinks that the Rockets can bring out the best in Stromile Swift.
Well, sometimes a change can be good for a player. Sometimes you're not the right fit on the team that you're playing on. And obviously, Tracy McGrady thinks that Stromile Swift will fit on this team. And I think bringing in Rafer Alston to run the fast break, that'll just open up more lanes for Stromile Swift to run, because that's what he does best, is run and jump.
He really does. Rashard Lewis. We promised him we'd say hi to his family back in Houston.
Hello, Lewis family.
I hope we don't find out there at the game. So Stromile will come out. He got 3 quick fouls, but Jeff stayed with him because it was more important for Van Gundy to let him play minutes to get in shape. He's not quite in good enough shape yet. He was injured with that forearm for much of the first couple of weeks of camp, so they need him to run the floor.
Playing in the games is the best way to get in shape. And you can run all the sprints and suicides that you want, but as you get a backcourt violation, Derek Anderson mishandled the dribble, but you've got to get some game type situation. That's the easiest way to get in basketball shape, is just play basketball.
That's the 6th turnover by the Rockets, 4 turnovers by Seattle. The Rockets have been averaging 19 turnovers a game in the first 3 preseason games. There's a holding foul on Rafer Alston. That's the 5th team foul on Houston. So Luke Ridnour will shoot.
Turnovers are one thing that Jeff Van Gundy wants his team to work on tonight. Another thing is rebounding. The Rockets are out-rebounding the Sonics 23-17 as of right now.
So Luke Ridnour will be shooting. Averaged 10 points and 6 assists a game last year. Played about 31 minutes. He played in all 82 games. He and Nick Collison were the only 2 Seattle players to do that. Averaged almost 10 points a game in the playoffs.
Seattle still running that 2-2-1 full-court press, which has not hampered the Rockets' ability to bring the ball up at all.
1 minute left to play.
Got a mismatch.
And a foul is called on Evans.
Whenever Rafer Alston sees he's got a big man on him, get out of the way. Let Skip to Malou go to work.
It's very hard to be a playground player and have a nickname of Skip to Malou and get a chance to play in the NBA. Your skills usually aren't that well grounded, but Rafer has overcome that.
That's a great point. You know, there's a lot of basketball players who are fantastic one-on-one players, but cannot play in a 5-man system. And Jeff Van Gundy, his 5-man offense is certainly a 5-man offense. All 5 guys are involved. There's movement. There's ball movement from one side of the court to the other. In the old NBA, with the old legal defensive rules, you could have more of an isolation game, which Rafer Alston is also very good at.
Jeff Van Gundy said the team really did not want to give up Mike James, but you have to give up something good to get something good, and they needed Rafer Alston to push that ball. And Ray Allen missed the layup. And Lonnie Baxter, as he has done a lot in the preseason, got the rebound, gives it up to Rafer Alston. 32 seconds left to play here in the first half. Rockets nursing a 41-39 lead.
There's the mismatch again.
Not a lot of points in the preseason because of all the different combinations, and Derek Anderson all out of sorts there with that shot. He's 1 for 4 tonight. He has 2 points. So with just under 18 seconds left to play, Seattle will go for the final shot of the half. Who's going to take it, Allen or Rashard Lewis?
Looks like Rashard's going to go one-on-one against Wyatt Ryan.
Lewis from the outside, short. Juwan tips it over to Ray Allen. He's got a second left. He floats it up and in. How many times have we seen Ray Allen do that? My goodness, with 1 second left, he arches it to the basket from about 30 feet out, and it touched nothing but net. Watch Ray Allen again. I saw him do this 3 or 4 times last year in the playoffs in the final seconds of a half, and that three-pointer gave the Sonics a 42-41 lead. Stay with us. Tonight's Lexus Halftime Report comes your way after the break. 42-41, Seattle with that three-pointer by Ray Allen with the halftime lead. Rockets playing without Yao and T-Mac. But I think Jeff Van Gundy pretty happy the way rebounding's going.
Yeah, rebounding was a key for the Rockets. They're out rebounding 24-19. And when you get some rebounds, like Dikembe Mutombo has 7 rebounds, when you get the rebounds, then you can start fast breaking. Now we'll see some offensive rebounds, some defensive rebounds, but when you rebound the basketball, you can get your fast break going, and that's what the Rockets really want to do, is they want to get out and run. If you can get out and run, you can get easy shots, and we'll see flying Ryan Bowen. There's one. How about another one with a nice pass from Stromile Swift? There's 2. Bench loves it. Fast breaking basketball is fun, Bill.
Well, Jeff can sit down T-Mac, but what's he going to do about our Bowen? We'll be back with the second half in just a moment. First half stats, not particularly good shooting here in Laredo in the first half. No three-pointers made by Houston. The Rockets out rebounding Seattle, but the bench of Houston doing a good job. And look at the free throw shooting. The Rockets came into this game number 1 in the NBA in the preseason in free throw shooting at 85%. They're not hurting that at all, man.
No, that's a good stat to lead, and you want to see that in the regular season as well. One thing in life that's free, Bill, free throws.
Good point. Mateen Cleaves, we have not seen him in action in about 3 seasons in the NBA. Flip Murray puts up a wild shot.
And he shot it. Flip Murray likes to shoot the basketball.
He can flip it up there with the best of them and has no conscience. Eric Anderson takes it right down to Juwan. Over to Wesley, right back down to the post. Radmanovich right behind Howard. Howard takes it to the basket, and it's knocked away by Mateen Cleaves. That's something he does very good. Very tenacious defensive player. Murray back out to Wilkins. And a foul called on Juwan Howard. And as you could tell, he's not happy about it.
Juwan was really excited about trying to guard Flip Murray one-on-one, you can tell.
You big guys always like to take on the guards, don't you?
It's a challenge, always a challenge.
Yeah.
You can move your feet fast enough. Of course, the guards' eyes always lit up when they saw us.
Radmanovich with an air ball. Collison caught it, and he did not get it off in time. He looked up and saw the tall shadow of Dikembe Mutombo, and that scared him away. Bobby Weiss looking on. Nice fake by David Wesley, and he misses again. And Mutombo with another offensive rebound.
2 for 8 from the floor for David Wesley tonight. Mutombo with 9 rebounds.
Juwan Howard with a miss. And Mateen Cleaves will get the ball up the court in a hurry. Backdoor to Flip Murray, and he could not get control of it. Beautiful pass by Cleaves. He put it right there.
Surprised to see Flip go up with one hand to try to catch it. That's definitely a ball you want to catch with 2 hands.
Cleves, you'll remember, led Michigan State to the national championship on one leg. Down to Mutombo, and he misses the hook, so neither team able to shoot. Here comes Mateen Cleves. He's had a bunch of injuries in his pro career and just never has been able to get on the court. Nice pass inside to Collison. It's blocked away, but a foul call before that. Hey, we want to wish a happy birthday tonight. If we got a shot of Yao Ming on the bench, if Yao's still over there, there he is next to Patrick Ewing. He wanted to wish his dad a happy birthday.
All right.
Yao Ming's father is 54 years old today.
That's not old.
No, it isn't. Very young, isn't it?
It is.
So,
happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mr. Yao. There's Big Yao and Little Yao.
Which one's which?
Well, that's Little Yao.
Okay.
I mean, he's bigger physically than his father.
Yeah.
But his father came first, and he was Big Yao.
Okay, Big Yao and Little Yao.
Yeah.
How come I feel so little when I'm around Little Yao?
Well, I'll explain that to you sometimes, but if you think you feel little.
Oh, my goodness. I'm 6'10". I feel like a little kid. I can only imagine what you at 6'4" feel like.
Well, you know, when you see a 7-footer next to him, you feel sorry for him. They're really not 7 feet. People said that's the way they used to feel around Wilt Chamberlain. And that was a nice passing exhibition by the Rockets, but they didn't get a shot off in time.
Yeah, you think Van Gundy's happy with that passing? That's one of those clips that they'll be watching tomorrow at practice.
I appreciate the 6'4" reference. That's my elevator shoe.
Yeah, those are nice. You bowl much in those?
Yes, I do. Don't be a wise person.
A wiseacre?
Yes. So another turnover. Is anybody going to make a basket here? This is the home, the entertainment center here in Laredo, of their hockey team, which is also one of the best minor league hockey teams in the state of Texas. And Terry Ruskowski, who used to coach the Houston Aeros, is the head coach here at Laredo. And Terry was on some great Houston Aero teams back in the old days.
Laredo Bucks.
Yep.
In the CHL, I believe. They were CHL champions 2 years ago.
Yeah, Glenn Hart is one of the owners, and Houston fans will remember Glenn was one of the owners of the Aeros. Kiki Diala is a part-time owner, and a lot of folks in Houston will remember Kiki was a All-Southwest Conference player for the University of Texas Longhorns many years back. They have a nice franchise here, and they're well supported. Oh, Derek Anderson hits a three. And the Rockets go back on top by 2. Radmanovich pushed Dikembe Mutombo to the floor, got an easy layup, but he missed it.
Mutombo's looking over at the officials like, you didn't see that? I'm 7'2". I don't normally fall down underneath the basket. Officials never see the first foul, though, Bill. They always see the retaliation one. David Wesley was the help side defender that came in and fouled Radmanovich.
Vladimir scored in double figures 35 times, averaged 12 points, 4 rebounds. Doesn't get a lot of assists. That's where the ball usually ends up in his hands. He is really a great international player, too. They've got some shooters, don't they, Matt?
Yeah, they do. They really know how to work the ball around. They normally have 2 big guys inside setting picks.
And an offensive foul is called on Dikembe Mutombo.
That was a big man trying to set a pick to open up David Wesley, but the official felt like he was moving on that screen.
The one question mark for Seattle, are they big enough to win? In the regular season, they're okay, but when you get into the playoffs, you got to have some big men. Collison is really not that big. Danny Fortson, they're hoping on him. They're hoping that he will play big, but he's hurt right now. He's back home, all 280 pounds of Danny.
And they lost Jerome James to free agency this summer. He had a very nice season for the Sonics last year.
Well, another three-pointer for Houston. 50 to 49 in favor of Seattle. There's a steal by Derek Anderson. Anderson to Wesley. Off the wrong foot, but he got it up and in. It's a 5 straight points by Houston to take the lead again, 51-50.
Derek Anderson coming alive in the second half.
Yes. Anderson now with 8 points, 8 for Howard. And a quick shot from the outside by Flip Murray. Both Mutombo and Howard go down, and Rafer Alston will attack anyway. He'll wait for the big guy.
Rockets playing a little 3-on-5 there until the big fellas can get down there.
And knocked out of Alston's hands. 9 seconds left on the shot clock. And a timeout charge to Houston. 6:19 left to play in the third quarter. Rockets playing without Yao Ming and Tracy McGrady, and still leading by 1. Welcome back. Derek Anderson doing a good job on the offense. He's hit a couple of threes, and he has 8 points. Rockets leading it by 1.
Nine seconds on the shot clock. Let's give it to Dikembe and let him go to work, I guess.
4 seconds down to 3. Jump hook from way outside. That's a little out of his range, isn't it?
Dikembe is
asking. I'm not
yeah,
sure.
I mean, I think I agree with you. I think he's a very good defender and rebounder, but you may not want him to be shooting.
It's not out of his range.
Yeah.
Radmanovich has a beautiful shot. You know, all the great shooters, and you had a beautiful shot too, Matt. All of you guys that shoot that 3 have perfect form. Juwan Howard a little short, and Collison runs it down.
Well, as a shooter, Bill, you want to shoot the ball the same way, whether it's a 2-footer or a 20-footer. Radmanovich and Ray Allen and Derek Anderson for the Rockets all have great-looking three-point shots. I always tell the young kids that come to my basketball camp, shoot the ball from inside. Shoot it 10, 12 feet before you start shooting 25-footers.
That's a good rule of thumb. And a foul on Wilkins.
The Radmanovich, Ray Allen, Peja Stojakovic, those guys, if they're on the court, they're in range.
Yeah.
They can shoot some deep threes.
Remember, Petrovic used to have that beautiful shot, too.
Yep, Drazen Petrovic.
Drazen.
Well, that's one thing about European players that I really like. You know, the NBA has gone more international, and I really think that's great for the game because their skill level is so high. You know, their fundamentals are so good. They're great ball handlers and passers and shooters, and they do things the right way. And I think that's the NBA really needs a shot of that, and the international players have really brought that to the league.
Team Cleaves. You know, Cleaves is a pure point guard. He's never been a good shooter, so he doesn't look for his shot, but he sets everybody else up nicely.
I think that Team Cleaves is one of those guys that still hasn't found the right team for him in the NBA. You know, sometimes as a player you just don't fit with your team, and we talked about this the other night in San Antonio with Dino Udrih. And a very nice player, but doesn't get much playing time with San Antonio. And Team Cleaves is the same type of guy. He's a point guard and just hasn't found his niche in the NBA yet.
Matt, point guards in the NBA now are more offensive-minded than they used to be, aren't they?
Absolutely.
There's an offensive foul on Houston.
There are not very many pure point guards in the league anymore. Jason Kidd obviously being one of them. But I think teams are really expecting their point guards to at least be able to shoot the basketball, but a lot of point guards look to score first.
Flip Murray fires another one up and misses. Murray 0 for 7.
He's 0 for Laredo.
Not slowing him down any, though. Wilkins with a 3, and he misses, and Mutombo gets around Petro. Johan Petro from France. Keep an eye on that young man. He has a terrific NBA-type body. Juwan Howard. And he got a good shot, just couldn't get it to go down. Mateen Cleaves misses.
Not the prettiest looking jump shot you've ever seen.
No. A little prettier than it used to be. That's a pretty jump shot. This time Derek pulls the trigger on it. It's short. Wilkins to Cleaves on the layup. Got a little body on Luther Head. Game a little sloppy now.
3 minutes. Yeah, 3 minutes left in the third quarter. We see mass substitutions now coming in for Seattle, and that's a good sign that what do we call it? Garbage time.
Garbage time early. So you're going to see Noel Felix and Alex Scales, who used to be with the Rockets.
How about some cotton candy, Bill?
Where is it?
it was right there on the screen. Whole bunch of it. You want pink or blue? There it is.
All right. What?
Pink or blue?
I'll take the pink. Boy, I'll tell you.
Pure sugar, Bill. Pure sugar. Hey, how was that energy drink you had before the game?
Put me to sleep.
Folks out there who are watching us, Bill Worrell drank his first energy drink tonight before the game.
David Wesley hits a three-pointer. And that looked more like it. That was a good release. And Wesley now with 9 points, 4 for 10 from 10.
Not bad. That's the third three-point shot for the Rockets. Didn't have any in the first half. They had 3 here in the third quarter. Watch out.
And a quick shot underneath. Quick shot again, and it's good. So Roger Powell, who was a teammate of Luther Head's, put that shot up and in.
How many guys went to the NBA off that team this year? 3?
3 and 1 stayed.
Yeah. No wonder they went to the finals.
Well, they had a terrific team. They just ran into a talented North Carolina ball club, and a lot of those guys were left too. I think 4 North Carolina players went to the pros. 2:35 left to play in the third quarter, and the Sonics are up by 5. 59-54, and guess who's in Laredo and still as popular as he is in Houston?
Clutch
the Bear. Time to check in on tonight's AIG Big Man Watch, and I guess Clutch could be called a big man. Vladimir Radmanovich and Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah, well, you're kind of stretching there with the big man of Radmanovich, but some nice stats there for Dikembe. 11 rebounds, 25 minutes. That'll make Coach happy.
Yeah, Mutombo, I believe, had 10 rebounds against San Antonio, trying to get there tonight. Stromile Swift, get in there. It won't go. He draws the foul. He'll shoot 2. And he takes that big step to the basket. Look out. Terrific leaping ability for Stromile Swift.
Explosion. That's what I'm talking about. Big step, pump fake, and power up to the basket. Draw the foul. Almost got it to go in.
Matt, if you had to identify one thing you'd like him to work on, it's putting the ball on the floor. He doesn't have good ball handling skills, so he has to operate around the basket.
Yeah, he's so explosive that if he can handle the basketball a little better, and I'd like to see him be able to hit that 15-foot jump shot with regularity as well. But we're really nitpicking right now, Bill, on Stromile. He's so athletic, and the Rockets know what he does best, and Van Gundy's going to put him in a situation to succeed. He's not going to put him in a situation where he's going to fail.
Rick Brunson outside. Down to 4 on the shot clock. Petro puts it up off the glass for 2. Johan Petro, first-round draft choice, 25th player taken in the first round. He was taken right after Luther Head was selected by Houston. Now to Juwan Howard. Howard draws a double team, and the basket is good by Luther Head. Luther with 5 points.
Luther Head can really knock down that long-range jump shot. His range is impressive for a rookie.
Of course, that Illinois team could all knock it down, couldn't they? And Alex Scales puts it up and in. Alex was in training camp with the Houston Rockets a couple of seasons ago. He's out of the University of Oregon. really a terrific athlete. And a miss by Houston. Petro with the rebound. Alex was in training camp with the Nets last year and has played in Europe, South America, and the CBA. Played for the Sonic Summer League team this year. Really a nice guy. You'd like to see him make it. Pretty good athlete.
Some new rules this year, or some new options for teams. I guess there's the NBDL, which teams have access to send players down to, and the team that the Rockets will be using is in Austin. Is it the Austin Toros? Is that?
Yes, correct.
And is that's the team, and so Jeff Van Gundy can take some of his young players who aren't going to get any time and send them down to Austin and get them some playing time. I think that's long overdue in the NBA. I really feel like Major League Baseball is head and shoulders above all the other sports, and having a farm system and young players coming into the league takes them 3 or 4 years before they really become effective pros, and they need a place where they can play some minor league games and really get a lot of playing time.
Former Boston Celtics star Dennis Johnson is the head coach of the Austin franchise. There's Scales to the basket, and it was on the rim. That's going to be an offensive goaltending. You see Roger Powell. Watch Roger Powell get up in the air now. This is another one of those Illinois players. Look where he was. He's listed at 6'6". He plays about 6'8".
He got up there pretty effortlessly on that one.
Yeah. He was honorable mention All Big Ten both his junior and senior seasons at Illinois. 5 seconds, down to 4. You got it. John makes one more pass. Luther Head puts it, gets it off just in time. Luther Head with a field goal. He has 7.
Some great ball movement and a great finish from Luther Head. I'll tell you what, Luther Head, it's not quite the fourth quarter yet, but he might be our fourth quarter money man.
65-60, so the Rockets did get to 60 points. Powell putting up the shot, and Juwan Howard gets the rebound at the buzzer. So Jeff Van Gundy liking what he's seeing from his bench right now after 3 periods of play. It's the Sonics 65, the Rockets 60 on FSN Houston. Seattle up by 5 here in Laredo as the young Astros fans sweating it out with a lot of other folks in Houston tonight. And Matt, do a little coaching for us.
All right, we got a pick and roll here. Juwan Howard and John Barry go ahead and run the pick and roll. Now what Seattle does is they switch it. Now there's the switch. Stop it right there. Here's the mismatch. Juwan Howard has got a little man on it. Go ahead and run it. Great entry pass from John Barry. And we'll watch the defense. See, stop it there. Here's the defense double team. The open player is over here in the corner. Great pass from Juwan Howard. Wide open Luther Head. Count it.
Hey, you're pretty good at that.
It's fun. I like drawing on stuff.
You don't go to the restaurant for the food, you go for the crayon.
That's right.
And it's going to be Houston's basketball. Ryan Bowen in the game along with Luther Head, Swift, Wesley, and Barry.
Usually what would happen when I was playing, Bill, is Rudy would be drawing up a play, and I would grab the marker and say, I'm going to be over here wide open, pass it to me.
Yeah, I know. You and Hakeem were a lot like that. John Barry, Luther Head sets it up, 15 on the shot clock for the Rockets. And they're running out.
Good scouting, Bill.
That means John Barry gets a 3. That might have been LMNOP, and Barry was still going to shoot that 3. And the Rockets are going to get the ball back.
Looks like John Barry grabbed the marker from Van Gundy and says, I'm going to be here. I'm open. Pass it to me.
He heard you.
John Barry.
JB.
One of the great players in this league for many, many years. Great golfer, too, by the way.
Yeah. Woo. Scratch, right?
Yeah. I played with him this summer. He played from the tips at the TPC in the Woodlands. 1 under.
Whistle. And the ball had not been brought into play, so that's going to be a 2-shot violation. If you foul a player and the ball has not been put into play, then you get free throws out of it. I don't think Bobby Weiss considered that a foul. You know, Bobby looks like a nice, mild-mannered guy, but that backcourt of Weiss, Van Leer, and Jerry Sloan was about as physical as any backcourt to ever play. The old physical Chicago Bulls. Bobby could get after you. In fact, when Bobby was drafted in the first round. He was drafted by the old Philadelphia ball club with Wilt Chamberlain and won a championship his rookie year.
Yeah, out of Penn State.
Yeah.
He's been around 40 years in the NBA.
Yeah. How many
miles do you think he's flown in 40 years?
And some of those planes he used to fly on 40 years ago.
40 years ago, they used to take bus trips between Philly and New York.
Yeah, that's right.
Take the train, maybe.
Well, it's good to see a guy like Bobby get a chance to be a head coach again in the league because there's so much knowledge there. Petro's learned one thing as a rookie: don't shoot it over Stromile Swift.
He's been watching film.
Felix from the corner misses, and the rebound to Bowen.
They must have ESPN over there in France.
I know it. Wesley is open, and he hits. All right, David now starting to find the range. That's more like the David Wesley stroke we've seen over the years.
5 for 12 points. Looks like his legs are starting to get a little bit more under him. That shot, he was right in rhythm. Nice looking jump shot.
Scales to the basket. Boy, he's athletic, isn't he?
Quick.
He had some good minutes when he played in Houston a couple of years ago. Watch his quickness.
Yeah, splits the defense there and then comes up with the left hand. Just couldn't quite get it to go in, but both of these squads out here tonight, the Houston Rockets and the Seattle Supersonics, really only have maybe one spot open on each team.
Yeah.
So you look down the end of the bench and you see some guys that are really playing hard, really working hard in practice, but with only one spot open, it's a numbers game.
That's going to be interesting to see. I think that's why Luther Head's getting a lot of time at point guard, because Moochie Norris is having a good camp too. Oh, Swift! Hammers it home. He was flat-footed when John Barry put that alley-oop pass up at the rim.
Probably not a better passer in the league than John Barry. Stromile Swift is happy to be on his team.
Wait till he gets in shape. John Barry to the basket. David Wesley from the wing. Stromile Swift with the rebound and the putback. Swift has always had the numbers blocking shots. He's never been a real good rebounder. That's one thing they're working on him. But look at this
just
move.
Standing there.
Wow.
He's standing there and he sees the ball coming to him. I better jump.
Oh, he'd have been a terrific.
Look at that pass.
High jumper, wouldn't he?
Whew.
What an athlete. This guy, folks, is worth the price of admission. When Stromile Swift gets into shape, with he and Tracy McGrady flying down the court, that's going to be worth a season ticket package.
Yep. Rockets are a fast-breaking team this year, really working on that in the preseason. If you want to buy your tickets, call that number or log on to Rockets.com. But with the fast-breaking mentality, not turning the ball over with Rafer Alston and Luther Head and guys like T-Mac and Stromile Swift on the wing, watch out. That rim is going to take a beating this year.
You got me sold. Game tied at 67 is Scales. Badly misses. Ball is loose and knocked out of bounds.
Well,
Seattle.
You know who I forgot to mention in that?
Who?
Flying Ryan Bowen.
Oh, yes, of course.
Flying Ryan told me that he got his first one-handed dunk in his NBA career tonight.
Well, Jeff Van Gundy couldn't put both Bowen and T-Mac on the bench tonight. So there's the ball loose. Turnover Houston. Petro will give it up. And Brunson will set up the play for Seattle. And Powell with the jump shot. Got it. So Roger Powell trying to make this Seattle team. He's going to have a tough go, but one thing about getting some minutes in preseason, somebody's going to see it. There are a lot of other scouts looking at these tapes. Scales. Good play by John, but he got it into Petro for the dunk.
The Rockets have played Philadelphia, they've played San Antonio, they're playing Seattle, all three very, very good teams. But there are some bad teams in this league, too, that are looking for players.
8:52 left to play in this game. And Seattle is up 71-67. 71-67 Seattle. Hey, fans, next Thursday, you want to do something at lunch that's a little out of the ordinary, sneak on down to the Toyota Center. Doors will open at 11:30. And watch the team scrimmage. You'll have a lot of events including an autograph session, be able to talk to the players. They'll have a chalk talk by Jeff Van Gundy. And admission and lunch are free. Rockets basketball, live it every day, every game. I think that's a great idea to let the fans get in on a practice. Now, Allen Iverson wouldn't think so.
Practice? We're talking about practice.
Ball knocked out of bounds by you do that pretty well.
I love practice, Bill. I live for practice.
That's because Rudy didn't practice you guys very hard, but Jeff will. One thing he has done, though, is cut back. He's got a veteran team. He cut back on two-a-days.
He really seems like he's got a great feel for when to go hard and when to give the guys a day off. And one thing that I like that he's done in training camp this year is he's gone one practice a day, but gone long, 3 hours, 3.5 hours. And as a player, you'd rather just get loose once and go hard than have to get loose twice in one day.
He's a big baseball fan, too, and he and the players went to catch the Astros game yesterday. Took the day off. 73-69. Stromeyer.
Whoops. A bit too much mustard on that one.
Well, he's not used to passing, and Rafe is not used to catching. Not those high, hard ones.
Was that a pass ball or a wild pitch?
I think it was a wild pitch.
I thought a pitcher like you would always say that's a pass ball.
Well, I had so many wild pitches. Can't get away with that. Scales hits again. Three-pointer. 76-69. Now Seattle starting to take charge. And a foul is called.
Count it. Continuation.
I'm just going to call it out on the floor. Mateen Cleave checks back into the game for Seattle.
I would like to see that same exact play with Tracy McGrady shooting it and see if it's still on the floor.
Are you saying that if you're a big star, you will get the call?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Now, Joey Crawford told me one time that's not the case.
Okay. All right. Well, Joey never lies.
Well, he might stretch the truth occasionally. And Ryan Bowen is fouled. He'll shoot two. Nice pass from Stromeyer Swift underneath the basket.
Well, that's one thing that Stromeyer. Now let's watch this pass. He's got a post move, and he sees the double team coming. A nice little flip. Stromeyer's made a couple nice passes to Flying Ryan tonight.
Well, he knows that Bowen is an absolute cinch to dunk it.
The only problem with Flying Ryan, though, is he dunks so hard, he might break the backboard, and we'd have to wait for 2 hours for him to put a new one up.
Yeah, well, you know, like Chocolate Thunder.
Yeah.
He's Vanilla Thunder. Remember when that happened? When Dawkins shattered that backboard?
That was...
They still play that about twice a week.
One of those moments is just unreal.
I don't know if I ever saw a stronger player than this.
Well, I got to hang out with Daryl Dawkins last spring doing the ESPN Dream Job, and Daryl was on the show.
Right, he was on briefly.
One of the best guys you'll ever hang out with. Told some hilarious stories. Was just a blast to be around. I really enjoyed
him on TV.
Yeah, well, good point.
Nice pass by John Barry. Somebody deflected that on the way to Bowen, but he had good hands. He caught it. Bowen just having an offensive explosion here tonight. 10 points.
4 for 4, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. 2 rebounds. A block shot.
78-73. Seattle with 6.5 minutes left to play. Nice drive, but it couldn't finish. Luther head.
Another thing that Ryan Bowen has that doesn't show up on the stat sheet is 2 floor burns.
It'll show up on his kneecap. That ball was kicked out of bounds by Scale. Rafer Alston, Derek Anderson, JB, Swift, and Bowen in the game for Jeff Van Gundy. 7
on the shot clock.
Nice crossover by Rafer Alston. Barry sets up Anderson. He got it off in time, just off the front of the iron. Good hustle by Houston, and the putback.
Ryan Bowen. That's one of those things that does not show up on the stat sheet, but Jeff Van Gundy loves that kind of hustle.
Yeah, he just tapped it right back to his man who was able to make the shot. Bowen gets his hands on a lot of balls. Got you there, and there's the shot. So Mateen Cleaves will go to the line to shoot. 78-75. And we have a timeout on the floor. 5:38 left to play in the game. You think you're a shooter? You're not a shooter. Matt Bullard was a shooter. The Rockets and Toyota on a search to crown the Clutch City Shootout champion. Win a portion of $25,000 for your school's athletic department. Come out on October 22nd and 29th to Marion Community Center to qualify. Visit Rockets.com for more details and the registration form.
Live it. Every day and every game.
You said it.
I was a little distracted. Frankie Hicks, our longtime radio engineer, was telling us that the score is still 2-1 in the 7th, and Andy Pettit is still pitching.
Yeah, but so is Carpenter.
Yeah. We need some runs. I wonder if T-Mac could get a hit.
I bet he could have. He said one of the biggest thrills in his life was meeting Roger Clemens last year, going over to Roger's house, and they threw together in the batting cage. He got the hit off Roger.
Yeah. Roger called it, room service? He's pitching some room service?
That's right.
What do you think? Do you think T-Mac would have still liked him that much if Roger would have beamed him?
Well, if T-Mac would have gotten a hit, the next one would have been...
it would have been a high cheese.
Oh, Strohmeyer Swift! Swiftly to the basket. Well, you have to be careful in that backdoor play now. The Rockets have added a whole new dimension to their offense. You got Tracy coming from one side, and look at Ryan Bowen.
Oh, he stepped out. Ryan doesn't think so. Let's watch this alley-oop. Another nice pass. I'll tell you what, Strohmeyer Swift, it doesn't matter where he's at around that basket. Just throw it up there. He'll get it.
13 points, 5 rebounds, couple of blocks. And they call Ryan Bowen stepping on the line, so Seattle gets it back. Rockets with 15 turnovers to 9 by the Sonics. They're trapping the ball on Cleaves. Inside to Petro, and he lost the ball. Good trapping defense by Houston. 5:02 left to play.
One more look at this. You're going to see this a lot this year. Man, look at how high he was above that rim.
Didn't look like he was even trying then. John Barry. You know Barry will milk the situation. Derek Anderson. He'll shoot the J. And he's fouled. Basket counts. That's the importance of having Swift on one side of the court. The Rockets threw it all the way over to Anderson, who was open.
Yep, Derek Anderson was on the weak side of the court. And what I liked about Derek Anderson, let's watch a pump fake and a drive, one dribble. Not too many guys can hit a long jump shot off one dribble like Derek Anderson.
And that's where you made a living in this league. On the weak side, a lot of times you'd be on the side with Akeem, but when you were on that weak side, you got a lot of easy shots.
And that's where the shots come from, because the defense is rotating to the strong side, and the guy on the farthest part of the court away from the basketball is always the one that's open. So I would always run to the weak side and just sit there and wait.
Derek with 11 points, and that 11th point gave Houston a 1-point lead. 4.5 minutes left, and we have a whistle underneath. I believe they called it on Luther Head. That's the third foul on Luther Head. The Rockets have 3 team fouls. The Sonics already with 5. Petro and Powell will go out of the game. Both of these coaches are old school. They really don't care who wins this game. They're trying to get minutes for certain players. If they win, so be it.
But both of these coaches are old school, like you said, and I think as this game is a 1-point game down to the wire, the competitive juices start to flow.
Yep. Swift wants the ball. Strohmeyer goes to work on Collison. Stromile back outside to Alston. Alston gives it right back to Swift. He puts it up off the glass, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. That's what I love about Alston. He could have taken a 3, but he just kept working it on the post.
Yeah, he's pass first for sure, and his teammates love that. But here's something about Swift that I didn't know he had was the power game on the box. Really some strong moves down there, and you see Rafer pass up the shot right back to him, reload the post, and a lot of power getting that ball up there.
You know, the thing I like, too, and I see this coming this season, he will have to work on his free throw shooting. He's not bad. He's about in the lower 70% range, but he's going to get to the line a lot. But the Rockets, when they go small, can put Swift at the center position. Boy, are they going to be fast when that happens.
Well, he can guard some centers in this league, and of course his shot blocking ability. And if you place Stromile at the center and put 4 small guys around him, it's going to be a blazing fast Rockets team on the court.
Trapping defense. Felix will shoot the jumper from the outside and hits. No Felix. 81-81. 3:40 left to play.
Look at it.
Anderson pulls it out now. 8 seconds on the shot clock for Houston. Ryan Bowen, baseline short. And he gets his hands on the basketball one more time. Bowen gets the Rockets a fresh 24. Luther head. Bowen.
He didn't need 24 seconds. He just needed the ball.
He loves that basketball in crunch time. Of course, a lot of folks at Illinois will tell you that's exactly what happened in college. He came up with big shot after big shot. 3 minutes left to play in the game. 9 on the shot clock for Houston. Collison, stolen. Derek Anderson. Anderson. And Scales with a foul. Remember, the Sonics are over the limit, so that'll be 1+ for Derek Anderson. We have a timeout taken by Seattle. Ryan Bowen, Stromile Swift, Derek Anderson, Luther Head leading the Rockets to a 3-point lead. And the Rockets are moving forward with a 3-point lead. 2:50 left to play in this game, and the Rockets getting it done tonight without Yao Ming and Tracy McGrady. Yao Ming still nursing that sore big toe. Tracy McGrady getting the night off from Jeff Van Gundy. I think we know what they can do. They've both been averaging about 19 points a game in limited playing time. Interested spectators tonight.
Remember, Tracy got kneed in the stomach in the last game in San Antonio, but no ill effects from that, thank goodness.
Yao Ming sitting next to a pretty fair center right there, Patrick Ewing.
A lot of points scored sitting on the Rockets bench there, Patrick Ewing.
Derek Anderson, an excellent free throw shooter, misses the first. He'll have one more. Rockets tonight 22 of 27 for only 82%. That's below their league-leading average of 85%. Shot from the outside, misses on the 3 by Wilkins, and good rebound by Anderson. Here come the Rockets, leading it by 4 points, 2:28 left to play. So possessions now becoming valuable. Alley-oop, underneath and a push by Seattle. Boy, Bowen looked like they'd mapped that out in the huddle, huh?
Yep. The last few timeouts, Jeff Van Gundy has drawn up a play out of the timeout, and they've worked to perfection. That time, the play worked, but Stromile was grabbed by Collison and couldn't get up to catch that alley-oop. I think Seattle's getting a little tired of getting dunked on.
Stromile Swift with a good touch. So far this preseason, averaging 15 points, 4 rebounds, 3 blocks.
Well, he was 9 for 11. He's 9 for 12 from the free throw line. Pretty good for Stromile.
86-81, 5-point lead by Houston. Since the Rockets have gone into this trapping defense, it's been very effective. Wilkins taking it up and in. One more pump fake, he'd have been in that lane about 5 seconds.
He just kept pumping until someone jumped.
2 minutes left to play in the game. Yao Down low. Pass inside to Bowen for 2 and maybe 3. Swift and Bowen are really working well together in the paint.
It's pretty good front court right there.
How about Bowen tonight?
Let's watch this replay. Another nifty little flip pass from Strohmeyer. Bowen knows how to take advantage of it. I like the way he gathered himself and went up strong. A lot of guys would just take it in there and just throw it up there, but Ryan was able to draw the foul. Yeah, here we go. That's the key stat right there.
Yeah, floor burner. Well, Ryan misses the free throw. Collectively now, the timeout taken by Seattle. Strohmeyer, Swift, and Ryan Bowen have combined for 27 of Houston's 88 points. Seattle calls a timeout for one final push. 1:48 left to play. .48 left to play. The Rockets lead it 88-83 over Seattle. Tracy McGrady, Al Ming not playing in tonight's game. Rashard Lewis played only 16 minutes, and Ray Allen played only 16 minutes. So the superstars now, this is about the time of the preseason where you're not going to play them a lot of minutes. Maybe towards the end of the preseason?
Yeah, this is the 4th game out of 8, and you're still going to play them, 15, 20 minutes, maybe 25, but I think the last 2 games of the preseason is when you really start to get your rotations down, and then that last game is when you're going to play those guys pretty much their full minutes.
Ryan Bowen, 12 points, and Strohmeyer Swift with 15. And there's another steal by Houston. Rockets very opportunistic here, forcing some turnovers in the last 5 minutes of this game. Strohmeyer Swift. Back out to Luther Head. Luther Head, yes. My goodness, what a shooting exhibition by that young man.
5 for 7, 13 points.
We've come to expect it now. Collison from the parking lot. And Austin with a rebound. 1:18 and counting left to play.
See, Rafer Alston is running the point. Luther Head is running the 2 guard. Derek Anderson's at the 3. This is the small lineup that the Rockets can put out there. And if Luther Head keeps playing like he's doing, he's going to be a major player on the Rockets team this year.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Strohmeyer Swift from 16. He got the roll. Nice soft touch by Strohmeyer. 17 points for Swift. Quick bucket, and the rebound to Collison. 50 seconds left to play, knocked out of bounds by Seattle. Well, Luther Head just continues to impress me, man.
Oh, no question, Bill. He has played himself into the rotation. Jeff Van Gundy is going to have to find some minutes for him to play in the regular season, and I think what we're seeing now is he's able to play either point guard or off guard. Right now he's playing shooting guard.
Well, he could have played himself out of the rotation or in it, and I think right now he's playing himself in it. That's going to be a tough decision.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of good guards on this team.
Well, some of the guards have a little bit of age with them, so they're going to be able to get a little rest while Luther Head goes out there and plays.
That's a good point. Rafer Alston misses on the 3. 23 seconds left to play, and you say, well, why is Bob Weiss calling a timeout? He's teaching right now. He has a lot of young players on the court, and this is a good time for him to look up and see that he's trailing by 8 points. What can he do to get back in it? And he'll nap out a play. Well, when you look at that rotation, Tracy and Yao not playing tonight, that's about 40 points out of your starting lineup. But the Rockets have done a good job. They've had 12 apiece from Anderson and Wesley. Luther Head with 13 points, 17 for Strohmeyer Swift, and Ryan Bowen with 12 points in 24 minutes. So it shows you the depth that Houston has.
Watch that nice kick out from Strohmeyer Swift. Another assist for him, and Luther Head, you give him the basketball, he knows what to do with it.
Yeah. And Strohmeyer,
5 assists.
I like the way 5 assists. Now, that's something we didn't think we'd see on his stat line, did we?
Luther Head's jump shot, it looked good. Normally, when you come out of college, you're used to that 19-foot, 9-inch three-point line. Well, Luther Head's been able to step out to that 23-foot three-point line and stroke them down, no problem.
Rockets are shooting 44% as a team, but with 23 assists.
looking at the rebound numbers, too, the Rockets out-rebounding Seattle 41-35, and that was another one of our keys that Jeff Van Gundy wanted to see some good rebounding, and that is the key component to your fast break. You've got to get a rebound in order to fast break the basketball. The Rockets doing a good job of that tonight.
So just under 23 seconds left to play in this game. A big quarter by the Houston Rockets, and they've done it on the defensive end, too. They've done a good job of turning the ball over and getting some fast breaks.
Yep.
The Rockets have been averaging 19 turnovers a game, have only 15 here tonight.
Well, and Seattle only has 12, but they have 3 or 4 in the last couple minutes, and the Rockets have turned those 12 turnovers into 21 points.
Good point. Almost a steal by Luther Head. Felix will shoot a 3. Short, and the rebound to Rafer Alston. And that'll do it.
Run out the clock.
So, the crowd here at the Laredo Entertainment Center has enjoyed this show put on by the Houston Rockets. And the Rockets win their 4th preseason game in a row. The Seattle Sonics go to 0-3. The final score, the Rockets 93, the Sonics 85. Tune in for our next telecast this Saturday night when the Rockets go to Memphis to battle the Grizzlies. Coverage begins at 7 on Channel 51. Stay tuned. The Busch Light Southwest Sports Report is next.
NBA exhibition action tonight. The South Texas town of Laredo playing host to the Rockets and Sonics. Houston perfect on the preseason, headed into tonight's matchup against Seattle at the Laredo Entertainment Center. It's the second time in as many years the Rockets have stopped in Laredo for a game in an effort to boost their South Texas fan base. To the LEC we go. 7 seconds remaining in the first half. Rockets up to Rashard Lewis. Misses the jumper. There's a loose ball. Ray Allen comes up with it and drills the fall-away 3 at the buzzer. Sonics lead by 1 at the half, and in the 4th, Rockets down 4. But Miles Swift gets it on the baseline and hammers it home. Rockets pull within 2. 3:20 left, now tied at 81. Rookie Luther Head buries the 3 from the wing. Rockets take the lead for good, and they go on to win. After trailing most of this game, 93-85, Houston now 4-0. They have 4 games remaining on the preseason schedule.